All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. We still have a couple minutes, but I will be reacting live. I want you all's reaction as well to the autopsy results for Nolan Wells. So we know Mississippi has not released their results, but Attorney Ben Crump and the family will announce the preliminary results from the private autopsy that they had done. So you guys come in, enjoy this music again, and then we'll get started. Thank you guys for joining me. Hit the like button on your way in. All right. Again, thank you guys. We are waiting. We are waiting. The press conference was scheduled to start 2 minutes ago. So you guys know how that is. I'm sure they are making sure that things are okay. But today is the day that we learn something. And the first thing that we will learn will be from the family side. That's weird to me that Mississippi is holding their results. A lot of people felt like the reason why they were holding on to their results is because they wanted to know what the family found out. You know what I mean? And yeah. So I do want to say first and foremost, prayers going up to the family of Nolan Wells, the parents of Nolan Wells, justice for Nolan Wells, and we shall see what's going to happen. Give me 1 second. We shall see what these results will be. So much going on with this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys know. Child, you know when you hear that little. If you guys know, but well, I'm sure you do. But the GPS information, some of it has been released from the boat's course of action per se, and is not making sense, is not lining up. So many questions. And I'm just going to stand on what I've been saying from the beginning. He wasn't on an island by himself. Had Nolan been on that island by himself, then yeah, I could have said, well, anything could have happened. My goodness. He was out there alone. But you will never make me believe that out of the hundreds of people that were there, number one, no one saw anything. And number two, he somehow got in this water and never came out. You know what I mean? It just does not make sense. So, this preliminary autopsy results that they will release soon will possibly give us a clue. There is grand jury talk. There's a lot of chatter that's going on, and we're just gonna say no justice, no peace. You know what I mean? 18-year-old, God, dog lady, 18 years old, extremely athletic, um, was scheduled the 6th of July to report to summer camp for football. You know what I mean? And they said that he didn't do any drinking or anything like that. Or let me say this, not what some of the rumors that were swirling about the clears. And I believe that. I don't think that he would have jeopardized that at all. So we are going to react. I do appreciate you guys. 79. Hey, Real Talk with Grace and Mercy. I was over by your way yesterday, sis. Early yesterday. I heard parts of a video of yours. So keep up the great work. Give me 1 second. You guys know how it is, child. But if you haven't already, hit the like button. Come on in. Give me your thoughts. Good morning, Miss Lady J. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I cannot speak individually, but shout out to my cutie mods. I see the legend of the mods in the building, Linda Gamble. Linda, I hope you're feeling well and doing well, sis. Thank you for being here. My cutie mod sister, Teresa. Thank you for being here. Hey, Chia. How are you, sis? I believe that may be it right now when it comes to the mods. Shout out to the cutie sisters in the building and my cutie members. Today is Wednesday, right? I'm all discombobulated. I have a live scheduled for tonight, and if it's not listed as members only, it will be. Okay, so to my members, I'll see you guys tonight. We'll have us some hot topics and all of that good stuff. And I appreciate each of you. So I do have, let me double check. I do have the page where this press conference is being held, and we are still awaiting over there, but we will absolutely give our live reaction to the information that's going to be shared to us. I do want to say first and foremost, before I even do it, that all information is allowed under that copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act. It is allowed for what I will be doing, criticizing, okay, researching, talking about it, all of that. So fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right. And as I mentioned, we will be giving our, I hate this new delay that StreamYard have. We will be giving our live reaction. If you did not, and I see a lot of you guys did, check out my latest video. Make sure to do so if you are a fan of the whole love and marriage. I did get into some things over there. So if you didn't see that video yesterday, check it out. Drop down in the comments and give me your thoughts on that. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Give me one other quick second while we wait. All right. Let me see something, guys, because now I need to open up another window because StreamYard just messed up my comments on one. StreamYard, I pay too much money for your service. Uh, $100 a month. Okay. Give me one second. Okay, put a one in the chat if you can see and hear me okay. Put a one in the chat. I will remove this. I did just open up a new window. So let me know while we wait. Happy Wednesday, though, to each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys for joining me this morning. It's early morning. We only come on live most times this early when it's important. And this is important. Thank you, Gia. This is, hey, Cass. How are you? Hi, Robin. Oh, Cass. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You said, OMG, my favorite chit chat, still rocking until the wheels fall off. Thanks for all you do. Your awesome commentary is always on point. Love your Womack fam. Cass, you know I love me some you. And you are one of my day ones, okay? So thank you for still rocking with me. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you being a subscriber for quite some time. Probably since I started my channel. So that means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Let me do this. And I'm all set. We waiting for them. So I am going to put this banner back up before they get started, though, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think there is foul play? I don't have time to create a poll, but put a one in the chat if you believe that there's foul play involved. Put a two in the chat if you feel like this was just some type of unfortunate accident that resulted in the child these braces death of Nolan Wells. One, foul play. Two, horrible accident. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let me make sure I'm in the right place, child. Let me make sure. Okay. Hey, Terry T, baby. Shout out to my Cutie Crew sisters. We are counting down for Cutie Crew Invades Florida. For those of you that's joining in, I'm going to put together a compilation of our two previous trips. The Cutie Crew sisters and I invaded Las Vegas. Amazing time. Then we had just a quick little weekend trip to New York. Stayed in a $5.7 million home. Had a blast. Contrary to, But anyway, we are invading Florida September 17th through the 21st. And if you are looking for a group of women that make sure that we keep our ass out the mess, our nose clean, as they say, if you want to build awesome relationships, when I say special, it cannot be touched, period. I don't care what nobody say. The sisters are absolutely amazing. But join my sisterhood tier and, travel with us. Next year, we'll have two trips. One most likely to the Shy, and then the second one, we taking it out the country. Okay. but we will be invading Florida in September, and I cannot wait. I really, really can. You guys wait till you see this house. Ooh, child, that we're staying in. But let me see what you guys said, because I don't think that I will see any twos, but we shall see. I respect everybody's opinion. Okay, Robin said one. Leah's grandma one. Hey, Nichelle, my belle one. Cass one. Terry T baby. Melanin. Kenya. Oh, I like the way. No, that's Kenyatta. I like the way you spell that. Cute, cute, cute. One. Pink Hearts Forever one. Gia 111. Andres one. Period. Inez one. Teresa one. Miss Lady J. Okay, I'm in the right place. Country Girl one. Okay. And Teresa said absolutely foul play. Absolutely. Okay. Now, I do want to say shout out to the Reverend Al Sharpton, Tyler Perry, and now Terrell Owens has joined in, and he's added $25,000 to their reward that they have set. So now it's $125,000 for a reward. So if anybody anywhere know anything, if you happen to be on YouTube, happen to be in this live, if you live in Mississippi and you've heard some chatter or whatever, all information shared is good information. But shout out to those brothers for coming together. I want to see more people. We got a lot of billionaires out here. We got a lot of multi millionaires. And some people don't want to be known for things like this if they do donate or if they have given. But when it comes to the reward, that amount hasn't changed since Terrell Owens donated 25K last night. So I say that to say if other celebrities or anybody reached out to Al Sharpton or Ben Crump, that would be higher. And we need that. Folks gonna talk for some money. Okay. And shout out to them. We spoke about this. I was heartbroken watching the homegoing service the other day. It's just sad. You know what I mean? Your kid is living their normal life, and next thing you know, they don't come back home. Strange. Next thing you know, he left his phone. Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm not 18. I haven't been 18 in, a little time. But at my big age, I'm not leaving my phone, okay, at all. A 18-year-old, okay with leaving his phone with his friends, but I'm going to stay behind and try to talk to a little girl. No. Now, I'm not saying he didn't want to stay behind if that is the truth. I don't think so. But if he did, he would have still had his phone. That was the first eyebrow raiser for me. Then his keys to his car. We heard from, and I hate to say this, I don't know if he's stepfather. There were some reports going around last night that Nolan's mom's husband is not his biological dad. That whole bio and all of that, I get it. However, I do believe that the father that is present is the one that was in Nolan's life for damn near the majority of his life. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I heard. But the dad had to basically almost put them paws on somebody. Where my son keys? They playing with him. Oh, I can't find the keys. Somebody else come out and say the keys are right there on top of the PlayStation. That's weird to me. The, clear guys, the clear boys, family, lawyering up right away. And when I say immediately, I say immediately. That's weird, And while we wait, I just wanted to go over that. It's so much stuff that's going on, but I'm still standing on ain't no way. And I do mean ain't no way that he somehow was the only person left on that island. Looking at some of the video, it was at least 50 boats. People on the boat still, like a little sandbar, drinking, having fun. People in the water, drinking, having fun. People on that island, drinking, or whatever they were doing, playing with their kids and all of that. And please make me believe how he was the last man standing on that island. I don't believe it. So I'll give you guys my thoughts real quick. Again, these are my opinions only. However, I felt from day one that he left with the group that he came with. Something happened on their way back. And I don't know why. Now, I don't believe in all that, Some people may believe in psychics and all of that. I would never go get a reading or anything. Let just life. But it will not leave my head that somebody put him on another boat, took him back out that way that Sunday, and that's how they ended up finding his body that Monday. Don't forget, hey, April, that he was, come on now, y'all know we on CP time. But I do have the screen up, waiting and ready for when this conference go live. So I'm looking at that while I'm talking to you guys. I've always felt that. I believe that they took him back out there, dropped that body off. I am also hearing that inspections of the boats have been denied. The boat. Why? Can somebody let me know? Why? If you have nothing to hide, if you know the boat owner that your kid or whomever was operating that boat didn't do anything, why wouldn't you want the boat checked out? You know what I mean? I look at too much Dateline 2020 first 48. Is it are they scared of, what is it, guys? Luminol? Luminol, if you pour that on there, it will detect blood or whatever the case may be. Why are they so secretive about the death of a friend? Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick for paying for Nolan's body to be transported to DC for this independent, private autopsy. And that is what we will hear shortly, the results of that. Now, I don't know if they're going to give us all details, but what I do know is they're going to give us enough. They're going to give us enough for us to say, is he Adre? Okay, forgive me. And I'll do some. Yeah, I have it up, kind caring. So as soon as it go live, you're going to hear me shut up. Okay. I will do some further research, Adre, because yesterday that was pointed around. They made note that, let me see, of a difference. You guys hit the like button if you are in the bushes, if you're working, however, listening. I appreciate you. If you're in the bushes being spectacious, hit that like button for me. If you are in the chat, you are subscribed. Welcome, and thank you. And if you have not hit the like button, please do so. So, Ray, they pointed out a difference yesterday online of the last names. So Nolan's last name, is Wells. However, his mom's last name is Wonsley. So that's why, and a couple people say they was doing their own research online, but that's why they say that his biological father is someone else. All right, so just so you guys can see, let's go ahead. It hasn't started yet. But once it does, we here, okay? Once it does, we are going to react and listen in. So let me do this. So you guys will have a full screen. All right. And not yet, not yet. Okay. Let me see something. All right, it's still blank noise in the background. So I'll mute that. But we will join in. We will join in as soon as it's live. All right, let me read a couple comments. On what channel? Because the NAACP is the one that's giving this. I'll refresh my screen. I will, matter of fact, let me do something. I'm going to duplicate. And I am going to go here. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Hold on. Let me reshare this. Okay. So they are live, but they have not started talking or anything yet. Okay. So let's do full screen. Okay. Hey, Pet H. Good morning, sis. Let me check something on my phone, guys. But yeah, too many inconsistencies, too much shady work, as they say. Lawyering up. Concerned kids that had nothing to do with nothing. They absolutely are going to come forward, give their comments on things that happened while they all were out there. They haven't said a word. Okay? None. All right, let's see. I'm making sure I'm live on my phone as well, guys. So we'll make sure to react. Let's see. Hey, Clam Rocks, how are you? Thanks, sis. I appreciate you. Olivia Schenko, how are you? I have to see if I can find Lisa Johnson, Judge Moore. But yes, Judge Mathis, I do think that if we do a search, a lot more people, I hope and pray when it comes to those that look like us are really, really rallying for justice for this family. But it's a lot that's been quiet. It's a lot that have huge platforms. And I just don't get it. That's a whole nother live. We'll talk about that at another time. Because I do think that a lot of people are scared of losing their standards when I'm talking about celebrities. Here we go. Hold on. Live reaction. Here we go, guys.
Good morning. My name is Sharon Williams, Senior Vice President of Marketing Communications with the NAACP. We are here because a demand was made, a demand for transparency, a demand for answers, and a demand for ultimate justice on behalf of Nolan Wells. And that demand must be honored. Amen. For that, we're honored to pause even for a moment to respond accordingly here at our national convention. Momentarily, you will hear from renowned civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, who will provide updates on the findings of the independent autopsy that was conducted in the death of Nolan Wells. Immediately following that, we will take questions from credentialed media. We'll attempt to answer as many questions as we can. However, we want to be respectful of the fact that we do have additional programming that is going on to conclude our convention today as well. So we're asking that all press and media, if you're asking questions, please be concise. Give your name, give your media credential, and we'll go from there. But before he comes, we will have the leader of the NAACP, President Derek Johnson, to give opening remarks. President Johnson.
Good morning. Good morning. Far too often our young people are confronted with challenges, and many jurisdictions and states don't take those challenges serious. We cannot allow another individual, particularly a young Black man's death, go uninvestigated. We have seen this happen over the years, not only in Mississippi, but across the country.
Mm-hmm.
It was unfortunate that our young people only seek to enjoy life. And as a result of participating in activities, no longer have life. For the NAACP, we take this and many other cases serious because every person matters.
That's right.
I want to thank the Mississippi State Conference, particularly Alicia Perryman, for working with the family and supporting the family on their onset. Because it's difficult to lose a loved one, it is even more difficult to navigate a process when all eyes are on you. And the pressure of balancing between grieving and navigating is upon you. And so for the ACP family, this is our role, is to step in, to support when the families have an issue like this, and the local officials seem not to hold people accountable. It's unfortunate when you see news reports and law enforcement officials are repeating what individuals are saying as opposed to investigate the individuals who gave you the information, because you don't know who was involved or not involved.
That's right.
And so narrative matters in this case. And we're saying that in Nolan Wells' situation, the narrative should not be it was an accident before there was an investigation.
Period.
The narrative should not be the words of individuals who went on a boat to the island with him, but they came without him, but with his cell phone, and you don't investigate those individuals. We're not accusing anyone of anything other than the state of Mississippi and local officials. We're accusing them of being derelict in their duties.
Yes, sir.
To follow up and to ensure that regardless of what happened, that there was the proper investigation so that this family and that community could be assured that if anyone was involved, they would be held accountable. And if it was truly an accident, that the families will have the necessary answers that any family deserves in this situation. I want to bring to the podium Attorney Ben Crump, a friend of mine who have stepped in to take the case and in support of the family to ensure that they get the answers that they deserve, and that local officials and anyone involved will be held accountable to this family, to that system, because we are all parents, siblings, to loved ones who should not be confronted with this reality. Attorney Crump.
Thank you very much, President Derrick Johnson, for your leadership, for the leadership of the Mississippi Conference of NAACP, and being there during the homegoing services to help the family go through what no parents want to go through. Thank you to Chairman Leon Russell, my longtime mentor from Florida, who helped raise so many of us. Thank you for always being there, Chairman Russell. As President Johnson said, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, representing the family of Nolan Wells, but it's not just me, it is a team effort of incredible, dedicated lawyers and investigators and paralegals. Attorney Lisa Park, attorney who you'll hear from in a few minutes, Attorney Eric Hertz, Attorney Gary Buchan, Attorney Camila Moore, Cliff Jones, Jared Presson, Alan Williams, a whole team of people who are committed, as I said, President Johnson, on this ferocious search for the truth of what really happened to Nolan Wells.
Ferocious.
But before we begin to discuss the intricacies of the preliminary findings, of the independent autopsy, we think it would be appropriate for you all to hear from the people who knew Nolan Wells best, so they can thank you themselves and tell you about the trials and tribulations that they have been enduring since July 4th. July 4th would never be the same for them. I bring to the podium Nolan Wells' mother and father, Christine and Elmore. Please give them a warm NAACP welcome.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, I want to say thank you all so much. Thank you to President Johnson as well as Chairman Russell. This has been a difficult journey. Losing a child, it truly breaks your heart. It is a pain that is just, you can't measure it. Especially someone like Nolan, who brought so much joy and light and life to everyone. You don't find too many genuine people like him. So to lose that light at such a young age under these circumstances has been absolutely difficult, which is why we've gone this route. There's so many people out in the public asking all of these questions. But the only question that we have is what happened to our son. The only question. We have consistently been degraded by the public. There's been questions about our parenting, our GoFundMe, this, that, and other. I've been called a racist. I am a healthcare provider, and I take my job very seriously. I love everyone. And it's been difficult for us, but we are leaning into our faith, leaning into one another, also leaning into all of you. There are not enough thank yous, not enough appreciation for what you guys have done for us. And we do. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And so it is our hope that our local authorities will do what they need to do.
Girl back.
Because
I'm sorry.
Us having the preliminary autopsy results and hearing nothing from them, it's heartbreaking and it's concerning, which again,
yes, it is
why we are here, why we have asked for this help. So again, thank you all so much for your support. We appreciate you. We really do.
Every day I wake up, it's a new challenge. Knowing that a part of me I will never talk to, I will never hold, I will never play around with or get mad at, it's not here anymore. Nolan brought a lot of joy to our family. He was the wittiest one out of everyone. The clown. He loved to put in the work because he wanted to be the best. He wanted to make me and his mother proud, and we were so proud of him just for being the person that he was. He was loving. All his teachers knew him, but loved him. He walks in the room, his aura, you are automatically drawn to it. Never met an enemy. And if they were, they would eventually be friends because they would eventually bond, and it's gonna be hard. He should be at football practice right now. Calling me out to practice, Dad, I made this play, or I made that play, or I get a text with 3 or 4 videos of him doing this, running this route, making this block. and what you think I should do. And I will give my honest, because I always tell them, if anyone is going to be totally honest with you, it's going to be me. It's not because I'm being mean, but people outside of your family are going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to know to make you better. It's going to be hard for our family from here on out. And like I said, every day is a challenge. We're going to miss our son. And like my wife said, we just want honesty. We want to know what happened to our son, because the things that you're telling us, that's not the character of our son. We know our son. I understand, our children would do things that, that would kind of dumbfound us sometimes, but the things that we're being told, that wasn't Nolan. So please keep us in your prayers, keep him in your prayers. And we're going to keep pushing and fighting until we find answers. Thank you guys for your love and support.
Thank you so much, Christine and Nolan. Christine and Elmore, Nolan's mother and father. Before we start to go over the preliminary findings from the independent autopsy, we will hear from Attorney Lisa Park to tell you about who was the forensic pathologist who conducted the autopsy. Attorney Lisa Park.
Thank you. Dr.
Come on,
Roger
give
Mitchell
us.
could not join us today, but we felt it important before we reveal and unfold this report that you understand who conducted this autopsy. Dr. Roger Mitchell is a physician and board-certified forensic pathologist with 2 decades of experience. He currently serves as the president of the National Medical Association, which is the oldest and largest group of Black physicians in the U.S. Most recently, he also served as president of Howard University Hospital, chief medical officer of the Howard University Faculty Practice Plan, and chair of the Department of Pathology. Before joining Howard, he served as chief medical examiner for Washington, D.C. from 2014 to 2021, and later as interim deputy mayor for the Public Safety and Justice. Dr. Mitchell has conducted and managed thousands of autopsies and is nationally recognized for his work at the intersection of medicine, public health, and justice. And for this case, we sought out the very best, and we are proud to be working with the very best.
I'm glad they did that.
Thank you, Attorney Park. I again want to express our gratitude to President Johnson, Chairman Russell, and the NAACP, because civil rights is more important than ever in the United States of America today. And so we thank you for the civil rights leaders stepping up to say that our children's lives matter.
Yes, they do matter.
And I want to thank all of you for getting up 8 in the morning. If people could see how many people are gathered here, they would say, you all are truly blessed to have the support of America, Christine and Elmore. And I want to thank the media for covering this matter, because they don't always cover
right, Misha.
when our children are taken away from us in highly unquestionable ways. And I do understand there's a lot of news going on in America today.
Come on, Crump.
You know, I woke up to them saying LeBron James is going to announce where he's going to play basketball next year. But I'm very happy that the media said this story is just as important.
That's right. More.
It's just as important.
More important.
And I'm sure LeBron James and Rich Paul and, Stephon Curry and Draymond Green, Jaylen Brown, Embiid, Maxey, Giannis, Bam, and many other players in the National Basketball Association
Haven't said nothing.
will all agree that our children's lives are far more important than where LeBron or any other player will play next year. And so that's
make it
why
plain. Make it plain.
You all for being here, because this news is as important as any news in the United States of America.
Make it plain.
Why is Nolan Wells dead? And I want to thank you all who have called the call center. I want to thank Reverend Al Sharpton. I want to thank Mr. Tyler Perry. I want to thank Mr. Terry Owens for putting up the $125,000 reward for anybody out there who have information so we can get to the truth of what happened. I mean, any videos, and we've gotten so many videos, President Johnson, from that day from young people, and we want them to have the courage to come forward with the pictures. What you heard, I know people said there were a lot of disturbances out there. Some believe it involved Nolan. All of those things are important to get to the truth of what happened. The fact, Christine, that the United Cajun Navy are so forthcoming. The fact that they told us, we haven't heard from any of their local officials, that Nolan was found face down, fully clothed. Well, that's significant to us because the last time we saw him on the videos, he was without a shirt. So at what point did he put on a shirt? Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. There were almost 300, 400 people.
Period.
Somebody knows something.
Period.
So, Scott X, we're trying to just make sure people understand that you can call the Nolan Wells tip line at bencrump.com. We will gladly listen to you, take any information as we try to put together this puzzle of what happened to Nolan Wells. And today, we're going to add some more parts to this puzzle because my legal team and we stand for truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. We stand for justice, no matter who it convicts or it acquits. Yeah, and we stand for transparency, because we got eyes that can see, and we don't need government officials having to narrate it for you and me.
That's right.
We can see it for ourselves. Transparency. That leads to the truth. The truth is the foundation for accountability and justice. And that's all we're seeking, as Christina Elmore said from day one. So with that, and Christina Elmore, if you all want to sit, we're about to go through this autopsy. And I know it may be a little emotional. Thank you, President. You're welcome to stay up.
All right, here we go. Prayers going up. Prayers going up.
You got the partner? Let's go through this. How does the partner work? Okay, let me do that right now.
You better believe it, Vi. That's right.
As we begin to present the preliminary findings of the autopsy, we want to especially thank Mr. Colin Kaepernick for not thinking it robbery to pay for the autopsy.
Yes, sir.
It's the first one. Let's go with the first one. Put it right out. So, where's the?
Hey, buddy.
Real one.
All right, guys, here we go. We will learn some of the findings in this preliminary autopsy that was done private on Nolan Wells.
An autopsy will be provided for the media at press@bencrump.com. And so, Mr. Jones, keep that. I don't need this one. I just need this one here. Put this closer. So, put this up here. So, Dr. Roger Mitchell, board certified forensic pathologist, performed a preliminary report on the death of Nolan Xavier Wells. He conducted and presented this report on July 19th, 2026. Preliminary report, second autopsy, death of Nolan Xavier Wells. Cause of death, undetermined, pending investigation. And we'll explain that as we go through the report this morning. The manner of death, undetermined, pending investigation. Statement of examination. This forensic pathologist was retained to perform a second autopsy examination on the body of Nolan Xavier Wells. Name of decedent, Nolan Xavier Wells. Age, 18 years old. Race, black. Gender, male. Date of death, unknown. Second autopsy date was performed on July 10th, 2026. Preliminary findings. And this is significant.
Oh, Lord.
Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy. He said the body had marked decompensation. He said Coroner incision of the scalp, brain removal, Y-shaped incision of the anterior torso.
What?
And he talked about the organs being removed.
What?
As is common.
What? Oh.
Accompanied in the body cavity. And that when you have an autopsy, the organs are removed from the body and they are dissected and examined. And then they are put back in a bag within inside the body.
I think so, Gia.
So when they're buried, their remains will all be with them. But in this occasion, if there's going to be a second autopsy, then the organs are put in the body cavity so the second pathologist could be able to examine the organs as well. Very significant for Dr. Mitchell was that the anterior inner neck structures were absent, not received with the body. And we'll explain that in just a minute.
Oh my God.
And then it talks about the additional procedures performed during the second autopsy. And we'll go into the paragraphs on that there because he explains it better in his narrative. So where's the first page of the discussion? Not the diagram yet. You can keep the diagram over there. Move this back, Lisa. So he talks in the preliminary discussion opinion. This forensic pathologist identified several limitations during the second autopsy that create barriers to establishing a definitive cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells. And that's important. He talks about the fact that we didn't get to see the body when it was first recovered, like the medical examiner working for Mississippi would have seen it. He talked about the second autopsy performed on Nolan Wells revealed marked decompensation or changes. Marked decompensation can obscure the presence and absence of bruising on the skin surface, especially during a second autopsy examination. What he's saying, because the body was so decomposed that you couldn't tell if there was bruises or abrasions on the body when he received it on the 10th of July. For these reasons, additional dissection procedures not performed during the first autopsy examination were performed to rule out potential blunt force injuries responsible for the death. These procedures included facial dissection, posterior head and neck dissection, dissection of the ribs, the pelvic, dissection of the subcutaneous and deep soft tissue, dissection of the back, the buttocks, the arms, and legs. He did all of this to rule out things. He ruled out there were no fractures or deep tissue injuries identified. This was very important because he wanted to be very thorough and very transparent, because transparency is the key to getting to the answers of why Nolan Wells is not with us. So he did that there and was very straightforward, very open, very open. He says, however, dissection of the back of the head during the layered posterior neck dissection revealed a 12 by 8 inch focal area of red discoloration in the deep soft tissues overlaying the occipital bone. And he talked about how he found red discoloration when he cut open into the back of his head towards the occipital bone, and he saw the red discoloration, and we actually saw the pictures of it. It's significant. You can't help but notice, why is this dark red here in the back of his head? And so he was important to note that in his report. He said that etiology of this finding is unclear. There are no lacerations of the overlaying skin nor fractures of the underlying skull. These findings are inconclusive for perimortem injury due to both the extensive decomposition and the absence of associated
red is right
injuries.
there, guys. Red
This
is right
finding,
there.
however, is significant enough to be highlighted in this preliminary report for further investigation. It is important to reiterate that the finding could not have been observed in the first autopsy because the posterior head and neck dissection were not performed.
They didn't perform
He
it.
said another limitation, move this back here.
What a shame.
Another limitation faced by this forensic pathologist was the absence of the anterior internal neck structures. The trachea and the laryngeal cartilage, the thyroid horn, and the hyoid bone were not received with the body. So he's saying that the throat
He was choked.
was not received with the body when he got Nolan Wells' body in Washington, D.C. to perform the second autopsy. And so let's discuss that with what he said about that. He said, it is assumed that the initial pathologist retained these structures for additional evaluation. He said the retention of the anterior neck structures during an initial autopsy is a common forensic pathology practice. He was chief medical examiner for 7 years in Washington, D.C., and he said that if they had concern about throat or any fracture or compression of the throat, they too will hold them back. He doesn't know why they held the throat back, but he said the throat was not with the body of Nolan Wells when he received it in Washington, D.C. to perform the second autopsy. He said, nevertheless, a posterior neck dissection performed without review of the anterior neck structures is incomplete. Therefore, this pathologist cannot rule out injury to the neck as a contributor or a cause of death. He said he would need to have the medical examiner in Mississippi allow him to review the throat. That's why he said his autopsy is undetermined pending investigation. Remember, it's about transparency.
That's right.
Because the initial autopsy rightfully removed and dissected each organ, there are additional limitations inherent in the second autopsy of Nolan Wells. The most significant of the limitations was the inability to directly observe the airway and the lungs for water and directly observe the stomach for gastric contents. He said it is very significant as to what the initial forensic scientists who got to review the body when it was recovered We have heard from our call center people saying the body wasn't waterlogged. Well, we need to know those things. But unfortunately, because the body was decomposed and the organs have already been dissected, those are things we can only get from the initial autopsy. So therefore, again, the manner and cause of death is undetermined until further investigation. We are hopeful that the Mississippi Medical Examiner would give Dr. Mitchell an opportunity to see their photographs and their observations to the condition of Nolan Wells' body closer in time to July 4th. That is very important, and we have to continue to demand transparency, President Johnson. In addition, the original toxicology results have not been received at the time of this report.
Exactly, Cheryl.
And we continue to wait for the toxicology to come back, because, again, that would be part of the investigation into Nolan Wells' autopsy by Dr. Mitchell. It is significant to note that there's many things that go into toxicology that only Dr. Mitchell would be able to opine upon, and medical experts can opine upon. And he feels the proper place to do that is before a grand jury in a courtroom. And so we would hope that the district attorney would present Dr. Mitchell before the grand jury as well. We want all relevant information to be heard by the grand jury. Lastly, in cases where a death has occurred in or around a body of water, this is important.
What a shame.
Lastly, in cases where a death has occurred in or around a body of water with suspicion of drowning, it is important to confirm how that person entered the water.
Facts. How?
This is the crux of the matter.
Yes, it is.
This information is especially important for those deaths of persons who can swim. As in the case with Nolan Wells, at the time of this report, this forensic pathologist does not know the condition of Nolan Wells. He did not know whether he was conscious or unconscious when he entered the water. He said that would be significant.
Absolutely.
He said he did not know whether he was forced into the water or unforced into the water. He said that would be significant. So he said the condition of Nolan Wells before he entered the water would be the crux of the matter. It would be of utmost importance.
Absolutely.
To being able to determine a cause and manner of death.
Mm-hmm.
He said, definitive circumstances of death are required to determine the manner of death. For these reasons, this pathologist cannot rule out, and let me really call your attention to this. For these reasons, this pathologist cannot rule out if any intervening non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death of Nolan Wells. Understand, he said based on the examination of the body, He cannot rule out foul play.
That's
That
right.
is significant.
That's right.
With the following questions still outstanding, number one, what were the circumstances that led to Nolan Xavier Wells entering the water?
Period.
Number two, what was the body position when it was found? We know that a member of the United Cajun Navy said that he was face down and he was fully clothed. Number three, was there water in the airway? Remember, he talked about the lungs and the airways, were they filled with water? Number four, is there any evidence of injuries to the anterior neck structure?
That they kept.
We got the autopsy without his neck. We got the body without his neck at the time of the second autopsy.
The fuck would they keep the neck for?
Number five, is there any evidence of any intracranial hemorrhaging? He said that is going to be very significant. Things that he could not observe at autopsy that the initial medical examiner would have been able to observe. Number six, was the composition of what was the composition of the stomach contents? He talks about that being important because when was he found? How long had he been in the water? How long had it been since his last meal? All those things become relevant factors when you're trying to do a thorough and impartial autopsy. And number seven,
wow, how come my comments not
what
going?
are the toxicology report findings? He said the best classification again for the cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells is undetermined pending investigation. This forensic pathologist reserves the right to review and incorporate additional forensic pathology information into his opinion as it becomes available. He says the above opinions are expressed to a reasonable degree of medical certainty. Dr. Roger A. Mitchell, July 19, 2026. And we know that, as I said, this is only another part of the puzzle. And even though it tells us significant information, we still have more questions than we have answers at this time. And we will continue to press forward and persist, Christine and Elmore, with getting the answers to these questions. Because as you, yes.
Yes, sir.
We will persist, because as Christine and Elmore and Attorney Parker and I talked this morning, we know that there are so many conflicting stories. The fact that she said him being found face down, the fact that we have other videos where people who have called said that is Nolan, who is in some kind of dispute with others. We're looking at all of these things. The fact that the GPS tracking of the boat is being questioned by many. We're trying to dot every I and cross every T, because we understand that when our children's lives are at stake, it matters.
That's right.
Not just what happened, but what we do in the aftermath of them being taken away from us. And just like the NAACP stood up when another tragedy in Mississippi, taking the life of young Emmett Till, we will stand up for Nolan Wells. Just like the NAACP and civil rights leaders stood up when another Mississippi son was taken in Medgar Evers. We will stand up for Nolan Wells. And just like too many of our young people, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Terrence Crutcher, Stephon Clark, Sandra Bland, Atiana Jefferson.
Break it down.
Alton Sterling, Eric Gardner, George Floyd, Tamir Rice, the young people who I was trying to focus on. Gary, we stand up until we get the truth, until we get justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells.
Period.
Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells.
For Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells.
So we were asked if Christine and Elmore and President Johnson can come back and join us on the stage, and Trevor, we will have you coordinate questions and answers for us or President Johnson or Attorney Park and I. I will say this: as President Johnson comes to the stage, I was sharing this with him and Chairman Russell, Christine Clark. God knows we wish we had you at the Department of Justice now. Christine Clark. As I was sharing with President Johnson and Reverend Al and others, this is so important that we continue to talk about Nolan Wells and what happened to him, and that we get attention on him, because in getting attention on him, it brings attention, Cliff Jones, to other cases that are not getting the attention as of yet. But I'm so grateful to Christine and Elmore, because they said whatever we can do, not only to help our son, but to help these other young black boys who was killed the July 4th holiday. And I want to take a moment before we answer your questions to talk about two other young black men, both 18 years old, who were killed in extraordinary ways that are very similar to Nolan. President Johnson, 18-year-old Daniel Irvins went on a fishing trip, out on a fishing boat with two other young men. He was the only black. It is alleged that he ended up accidentally drowning, but his two white friends got his cell phone and threw it away, got his clothes.
Yes, that was so sad. So sad.
And then went and deleted all of their text messages with him in social media. Sounds familiar?
Very familiar.
And they've only been charged with tampering with evidence. And his mother is crying out that they should be charged with murder, because if they would lie about his cell phone and his clothes and deleted messages, then they will lie about what really happened to Daniel Irvins.
That's right.
And then there's the matter of President Johnson, Christine Clark, of 18-year-old Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith, on 4th of July, was at a house party with about 10 other people. He was the only black person at the house. He somehow ends up shot in the head, dead. Some of the friends get rid of the gun. The police show up. They tell the police it was an accident. It was an accidental shooting, that they were playing Russian roulette. And Tyler Smith ended up getting killed. And apparently, Christine Clark, President Johnson, the police just took their word for it. His mother and grandmother are incensed. They asked the police, did you do a gunshot residue test on his hands? And the reason they said they had to call us, like Daniel Irvin's and Nolan Wells' family, because the police told them, President Johnson, that there was no need to do gunshot residue on his hands or any of the other people in the house, because I don't understand this logic, but they said if they were playing Russian roulette, then all of them would have gunshot residue on their hands. So we don't need to do gunshot residue tests. It makes no sense whatsoever. So they are taking the word of these 10 people that your son just killed himself. And you don't have to worry about doing any investigation or testing forensically anything. Just take our word for it. Now, can you imagine in any 3 of these scenarios, had the survivors been young black men and they were with a young white man and he ended up dead, what kind of investigation would there have been? What kind of interrogation would there have been? Would they have ever been able to see the light of day until those questions were answered? Well, just like you would do a thorough investigation for your children, we want you to do a thorough investigation for our children.
Period.
We don't want anything special. We just want equal justice. Equal justice. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Trevon to lead us in the final section.
We have a few questions. We have my colleagues on either side with microphones. Please announce your name and your media outlet if you have any questions. We're going to be quick because we have other programming going on in real time. We'll go here first.
Key points.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Samantha Chapman, ABC7 Chicago.
Samantha
you just
Chapman
unveiled a comprehensive outline of the independent report. Can you summarize for our viewers? Because there's a lot to take in, a lot of information. So in summary, can you succinctly tell us what we can take away from this report? And also, if you can provide more details about the neck.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people behind me gasping when that detail was mentioned.
Yeah. Let me try to be very comprehensive. As Dr. Roger Mitchell said, that the focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region, is significant because he cannot determine why you have that red discoloration in the back of his brain. That's significant. He also talked about, Mr. Williams, if you could, just the fact that as it's common practice, he was missing his throat when they received the body. And he wants to know why they held it back. He's not drawing any conclusions, but he said he would want to examine it if there were neck fractures or compressions to the neck. And he thinks that's significant to know
It is.
an autopsy. The reason he said he would hold it back when he was medical examiner because he thought that there may have been some issues with neck fractures. The last thing that is significant is what we said before about him, the condition of his body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or unconscious? Was he forced or unforced into the water? He said those things are very significant. But he started off talking about this red discoloration in the back of his head is something that was of great concern to him. Thank you.
We'll go here.
Daryl Denard with Chicago Speaks on V103. What specifically are you calling for from Mississippi authorities in terms of transparency, but more importantly, investigations?
I know President Johnson is from the state of Mississippi, and the Mississippi Conference president is here. They're calling, as we are, for a fair, impartial, comprehensive investigation. When Nolan's parents heard the sheriff say there's no foul play at the beginning of the investigation, that is cause for concern, major concern. You haven't even investigated, but you're saying no foul play. And so we want them to dot every I and cross every T. You know, we had a meeting with the district attorney, and we expressed to them about our lived experiences. The fact, and you know, they said that's not what happens in her office, but we said we believe if the roles were reversed and there were 3 young black 18-year-olds and there was a white 18-year-old who was with them and he ended up dead, we don't believe that those young black men would not have been interrogated to the full extent of the law.
That's right.
We believe that it would not have been a choice whether they were going to cooperate with law enforcement if their lawyers and them were going to cooperate. No, they would have been held until they gave answers. They would have been held until they explained the cell phone in their possession. They would have been held until their cell phones have been examined. And so whatever you would do, had the roles been reversed, we want you to do the same thing for Nolan Wells.
We have time for one more question, and then we're going to have a prayer with our Religious Affairs Committee with the family. One more question here. Once it's there.
I'm Tiffany Walden with the Tribe in Chicago. I know that we're talking about a transparent investigation, but for families and people who are watching, can you kind of give a breakdown or a timeline to the best of your ability of the contact that you've had with Mississippi authorities or Ocean Springs authorities or the Cajun Navy? Have you all talked to them? Do they call you after the initial autopsy? Is it just radio silence from them? Do you have to call them? Can you kind of walk us through that process?
So the last time we actually spoke with local authorities, which would be the sheriff's department, was I think a day or two after his body was found. That was only initiated by me. I sent him a text message. I was like, hey, this is Christine, Nolan's mom. I just want to see if there are any updates. Basically, he called back. There were no updates. He's like, we're still interviewing. And again, my concern, and also my husband's concern, was it was not even an hour that his body had been removed. And the sheriff came out and said, this is, accidental drowning. We don't think there's foul play. Again, that is why we're doing what we're doing and why we're moving the way we are. Because I sat there and asked them, Please take this case as if this is your child, your family member, your whatever. And they promised that they would, but when you make statements like that straight out the gate, that's an issue. We did meet with the DA. She did promise, transparency and all of this, all of that. However, damage has already been done because now that's the narrative that's being pushed by the general public, who again, know nothing really, only what they're hearing from other people. So in addition to that, it's all these things coming up. And at the end of the day, like I said before, any parent that would be in this situation, you would do anything to find out what happened to your child. And that is what we're here to do.
It is very important to note that this narrative, this suggestion that it was an accidental drowning, nothing to see here, is troubling, even if that's the case. There were 300 to 400 people
That's right.
out on Horns Island. You mean to tell me nobody saw anything? Nobody can tell us anything about what happened to one of the few black people that were out there on that island that day? It just doesn't add up. The fact that they're saying Nolan said that he would stay behind, but yet an 18-year-old kid would not want his cell phone if he was going to stay behind. The fact that, you have...
I said that at the start of this live.
He said he was going to get back on the boat with the boys, and then the boys saying no. He said he was going to stay behind and talk to her. If that was the case, don't you believe Nolan would have said, give me my cell phone, I'm going to stay behind.
Period.
Give me my car keys, I'm going to stay behind.
Period.
It's not adding up. And so we're going to keep fighting and digging until we get the answers, the transparency, the truth, the accountability,
Yes,
and justice for Nolan Wells.
Yes, sir.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
Justice.
Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
Justice for Nolan Wells. We're going to have our Religious Affairs Committee join us quickly so we can have a quick word of prayer with the family, and that will conclude our press conference formally.
All right, guys, we are going to listen to the prayer.
Good morning. It's a good morning in spite of all that we have heard. It's a good morning because we're here for justice. I'm Reverend Wendell Anthony from the Detroit branch and also a member of the National Board of Directors and a part of the Religious Affairs Committee, joined by colleagues who are here. I'm going to ask all of you if you would be so kind as to just link arms. Just link arms so that we can link ourselves around this particular moment and around this family. There's an old African proverb that says, those whom we love die only in the physical sense, but their spirit continues to live on in the will and determination of those whom they leave behind. Mr. and Mrs. Wells, I did not know your son, but I could tell from just looking at his photograph, I can feel the aura, the joy that you talked about. We all can experience and feel that. Ben Crump has chronicled the list of pain moments in our community by the deceased, by those who are now martyrs. We have been dying since 1619, still seeking justice. Pray with me. O Lord, our Lord, how very excellent is thy name in all the earth. We are here for but one reason, to answer the question, what does the Lord require of us? But to do justice, to love mercy, to even walk humbly with our God. Lord God, your people are here beseeching justice. We're here for transparency. We're here for truth. You who are the way, the truth, and the life. We're here because of you. Lord God, how long must we continue to pay evil a toll at the gateway towards justice?
Yes.
How long must we see our children lie bleeding in the streets, in the sand, in the water, in the asphalt pavements of this nation that we built? Even on July the 4th, a day that serves a lesson in mockery and dichotomy. For we talk about independence, yet we are not independent from those who seek justice. Help us, Lord. Bless us right now. Bless this family. Cover this mother whose tears fall down her cheeks. Cover this father as he remembers his son whom he taught and whom he mentored to play in life, but more importantly, to play the game the way it should be played in living. Lord God, we thank you so much. We've gone down the roads. They lied on Martin. They lied on Medgar. They lied on Malcolm. But more importantly, oh God, they lied on you. You who know about lies. We know that the truth shall eventually set us all free. Help us to get the truth, even in Mississippi. Oh Lord, help us to get the truth for our children. You know, like we know, there are more black boys in school than are in jail. We know, oh God, that there are more of us who are striving for the benefit of life rather than the poison from living. Oh Lord, how long will justice continue to lift up her brow so that she can see who is standing before us, so she can make a decision that is not in our interest, but in the interest of those who seem to be different from us? Help us, Lord. Don't we as a people bleed like everybody else? Don't we as a people need comfort like everybody else? Don't we as a people need justice like everybody else?
Yes,
Don't
sir.
we as
Yes,
a
sir.
people feel the pain when our children are taken from us like everybody else? Help America, Lord, because America has a problem. We don't have a problem. America has a problem. Fix the problem. In 250 years, we still seem to suffer from the same old problem. Fix America, oh God. Fix justice, oh God. Fix us, oh God. Fix Mississippi, oh God. Fix those who are standing at the gateway to break open the doors for justice.
Yes, sir.
Not just us, but justice.
Yes, sir.
Help us now, Lord. This is our prayer. This is our plea as we seek that which you have the power to give, and that is justice. The just shall live by their faith.
Yes,
the just
sir.
shall live by their faith. And oh Lord, we know that when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
Better
when
say
we
it.
fight, we win. Let's win in the name of justice. Let the people who love God, who are called according to his name for every good purpose, who believe in justice, say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Now give justice a hand praise. We praise God for justice. God bless
Amen.
you. President Johnson, I want you to know, and those who are here, there are 12,000 people who are looking at this press conference on YouTube. That was 30 minutes ago. There were 14,000 people who were looking at it on the roofs. That was 30 minutes ago. Ben Crump, this ain't no secret. The nation is looking for justice.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. All right. I will go over some key points and heartbreaking details that were released today. And we'll summarize two of the major things that we all heard together that I learned is the neck structure was missing. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me get out this other screen here. Hold on. The neck structure of Nolan Wells was missing. Why is that important? I think, my opinion only, that neck structure absolutely is the cause of death. Why hold that? The neck structure is going to show the throat area and would be able to determine if he was choked or strangled or not. The allegedly Mississippi authorities, medical examiners withheld that from his body when his body was shipped to DC for that independent autopsy. That's very important. Why would they hold his throat neck structure? Secondly, the red discoloration on the back of his head. Yes, Simone, you missed that part. Hey, Danya. They did not send his neck structure again with his body when his body was flown to DC for this private autopsy. And let me ask you guys this. Had that private autopsy had not been done, do you think that we would have ever learned of that? Absolutely not. They also stated early on that the medical examiner's office, coroner, etc., are quick to say drowning in a lot of cases, and thank God they did this private investigation and autopsy and all of that, and it's not over. Secondly, again, the red discoloration on the back of his head. What does that mean? To me, I'm not a medical professional at all, but red discoloration to me would mean that that's blunt force trauma. How did the red discoloration get there? How? What caused that? A drowning, in quotation marks, because that didn't happen to me. His body was put in that water. Will not cause red discoloration to the back of the head. Last thing that just broke my heart, the conditions of his body. And to me, with them holding his body, which would cause more decompensation of the body. The longer the body sits, you guys know that, especially if it hasn't been embalmed or anything like that, and they couldn't embalm his body because, again, the family first wanted to see his body initially. They didn't let him do that. But I think that was done on purpose, because if his body continues to decompose, as Crump stated, then what? The skin and all of that is deteriorating, and they can't see bruising on the skin. My opinion only, that body was held longer, meaning would not be released for this private investigation until they decided that they would do it in order for that skin to further deteriorate. It is, hey, classy, sassy. It is absolutely heartbreaking. I am going to go over a couple more things and then we're going to get out of here. To my members, we'll be back later on and you guys can, we can absolutely discuss more of this. I said at the start of this live, you would have thought that I sent that to Ben Crump because word for word, bar for bar, there's no 18-year-old that's not going to want his phone, period. Crump just said that. I said it at the start of this live. What I also said is he wasn't on an island by himself. So if we are supposed to be straight up dummy asses and believe what's been told, that means that nobody saw anything. 300, 400, 500 people. He decided to lay back allegedly to flirt and, get to know this young lady. And then everybody left from there. I may have been born at night. Guess what? It wasn't last night. There are so many unanswered questions. The pathologist in DC stated he cannot rule out that there was not any foul play. And foul play for me is that neck structure not being included with Nolan's body. Foul play for me is the red discolorization of the back of his head. Foul play for me is them boys lawyering up ASAP. Foul play for me is, again, there's no 18-year-old, period, that's not going to say, give me my phone. I'm going to stay back and try to holler at this chick. Okay? And the key point, when they said that Nolan's body was found fully clothed, it didn't hit me until today. Fully clothed, guys, mean fully clothed. So up until this point, we all had only seen Nolan bare chest in those light blue swim trunks. When his body was found face down, they stated that his body was fully clothed. When did he put on clothes? Can somebody let me know? If we are to believe that he stayed back on that island and it was hot as heck that day, all throughout the video, most of the males and young boys were shirtless. When did he put on clothes? Let me know. Yes, Mrs. B.E. not letting the mama, first of all, had to track down his phone. Okay, didn't nobody call her and say, Miss Wonsley, we have Nolan's phone. He decided to stay on the island. Heartbreaking again, and I'm out of here. His mother and his parents, period, receiving hate mail. The chatter that they just said, yeah, take my son. We just gonna go ahead and start us a GoFundMe. Trying to allege that these people just want money. No, these people want justice. We want justice as well. These floating hearts and gems, child, I don't know what they mean. I couldn't see them. I guess I should have my phone up. But Dre Miles, thank you for the 10 gems. I'm gonna have to research and see what that is, child. And then at Ray, thank you for 1,000 gems, GOAT trophy, whatever that is. Call me the GOAT, child. Overcomer, I am absolutely, allegedly, blunt force trauma to the back of the head. That is, in my opinion, what that red discoloration is. How did it get there? How? Anitra, you stated that the initial pathologist needs to be held accountable. Also, everybody in Mississippi. I want more than just that initial pathologist. Any and everybody that has tried to hide and sweep this up under the rug and just come out and tell us no foul play, all of them need to be held accountable. As Crump stated, where they do that at? Now, he didn't say that. I'm saying it. Where they do that at? You haven't interviewed anybody. You haven't taken pictures of their body. The other people that was with Nolan to see if they had marks. Was their skin under their nails? You didn't do any of that. And you just come out here and say, no Foul play. What? Excuse me? Sean Lou, I totally agree with your daughter. I absolutely think that that is why they held that neck cavity. Okay? Absolutely. The throat area. And it's a shame. It is truly, truly a shame for me. He went missing July 4th. It is July 22nd. I believe that let's see, when was this past Friday was the 17th. So I believe that they released his body on the 10th. Yes. Yes. I think that Crump initially said the date wrong for the first autopsy that was done in Mississippi. He said July 19th, but that wasn't the case. I think he may have meant July 9th. But July, well, I don't know, but I know it wasn't July 19th because that was just this past Sunday. But the second autopsy was done, the independent autopsy was done July 10th. And that's where it was discovered again. Baby, when they said the brain was removed and the organs was removed, my heart sank. But Crump also stated that that is normal. That's normal procedure. Brain removal, organ removal. But what's not normal is the neck structure being removed. Do these people really think we crazy? I gotta go. Dude, I mean, seriously. If it is not normal procedure for the neck structure to be removed, what is your answer for it being removed and not it being included in the transport of Nolan's body? That's straight up guilt right there. And there's no telling, do you hear me, what they've done now to that neck structure. But I'm glad that, because it was a waiting game, and then I really gotta go. It's been a waiting game, guys, as far as the release of the autopsies. And Mississippi just wouldn't release theirs, still hasn't released theirs. So a lot of people said, oh, they want to wait and see what this second autopsy says before they do that. Now that you know, Mississippi authorities, give us the answer to why y'all kept his neck cavity, throat cavity. What's the answer? Well, I think they, would have, Simone, I don't think that could be the case as far as a pow, because the inner structure was removed. So if there were pow wounds, that would have been on the outer structure. Anitra, can you guys hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. I'm going anyway. Anitra asking if we're still live. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Okay. Anitra, why you asking if we live, child, if you can hear me? Love you, Anitra. Yeah, so Simone, it would have still been on the outside. So it's not like they sent a headless body. You know what I mean? They removed what would show the damage to his neck. And it's a shame, for Nolan Wells, my goodness, and all the other victims, names that we know, names that we don't know. And in the year of 2026, we are still fighting for justice. As the pastor said, we built this nation and we got to fight for justice. It was on the backs of our people that this nation was built. And we'll have us another live, child, because I can't stay right now and I'm about to get real angry. So to my members, we'll talk about it tonight, child, behind closed doors, because what I gotta say, but I will say I am sick of them. Sick. And I'm not saying all, But when it comes to where my daddy was born and raised, Mississippi, when it comes to why my family moved out of Mississippi, it is because of reasons like this. And in the year of 2026, we are still going through this. Prayers going up to Nolan's mom and dad and siblings and family. Justice for Nolan. You guys know we will be back. Whenever there are updates or anything, we will absolutely be back to talk about it. As I mentioned, if I had a midday live scheduled, it will be removed. But to my members, I'll see you guys this evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Now, I just saw something, child. What was this? Cookie from The Shy. Thank you, Cookie, for 440 gems. Unk alert. What's Unk alert, child? Unk alert. Cookie, let me know before I go. What's that name? Unk alert. You still here, Cookie? But thank you for the gem, sis. I don't know. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you. Shout out to my cutie mods that were in the building. The legends. They all legends, child. But Linda Gamble, you guys know I've been calling her the legend of the mods since the beginning. Thank you, sis, for modding. Bridget J. Teresa, thank you guys so much. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Again, justice for Nolan Wells. We want the truth. And prayers going up to his family. All right? I'll chat with you guys soon. Bye.
Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT. With QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT.